Her curiosity about space, the seas, the earth, the universe has allowed Angela Posada Swafford, a Colombian writer and producer, to follow in the footsteps of scientists in all sorts of exciting expeditions during her 20-year career as a multimedia journalist.
I just love it. I mean, I guess I am a type A adrenaline junkie or whatever you want to call it. I love it in the name of science, or just not just because. This is what you do, because you have to report from the trenches, is what I do.
For Angela Posada Swafford, reporting from the trenches means going wherever research science takes place. That could be at 3,000 feet below the surface in a naval submarine to listen to the heartbeat of a humpback whale, or inside a jet trainer for astronauts, or in the eye of a hurricane on a NASA plane to study how the hot sands coming from the Sahara Desert decrease the formation of hurricanes.
It would be great if next year or next decade we can incorporate into our forecasting not just how humid the air is or how hot the water is in the surface of the ocean, but what's going on with the storms in Sahara.
Last year, she was the only science journalist invited by the Marine Biological Laboratory to report about the studies conducted at the U.S. Palmer Research Station in the Antarctic Peninsula, where long-term ecological research is being conducted and where global warming is happening faster than in any other place in the world.
Ya estamos embarcados en el buque de investigaciones antárticas Lawrence Gould.
Her trip started off in Punta Arenas in Chile on board the Lawrence M. Gould supply vessel, transversing the Drake Passage, one of the roughest stretches of water in the world.
This is where all the oceans of the world collide. Boom! And they collide against the cold masses of water of the Antarctica. And there is this rage of water, you know, everybody wants to win. So the waves are very big all the time, always. Waves and wind for 4 days.
At the Palmer Station, Angela was able to share her experience on the Antarctic Peninsula in her blog Aventureros de la Ciencia, written for magazines and newspapers, and she conducted the first ever live wireless internet video conference, connecting 5 science museums and 400 people, making polar history in communications.
I began to transmit, and all these children were asking me questions live about global warming on their own. And then the penguins, you know, are very curious creatures. So they began to come behind me, to group behind me. And so when I realized that, I asked my helper, please, let's lower down the tripod, down towards the eyes almost, so that the penguins were eye to eye to the keyboard. And it was just amazing.
Her desire to share her experiences with children and young adults led Angela to write a 15-book series titled Aventureros de la Ciencia in Spanish.
It is a bunch of adventures of 4 kids that follow their aunt, who's a science writer, and her aunt's name is Tia Abigail, Aunt Abby, and she suspiciously looks like me.
Each book, a mix of science fiction and facts, comes with a 30-minute documentary DVD, also produced by Angela about the real science. In addition to being a tool for learning, it is also a source of entertainment, especially when the characters encounter some challenges.
They are very adventurous and they are very independent, and they learn, but they also get bored by learning, so they go off and do their own thing like every normal kid does. And in doing so, they really run into troubles which they must solve by applying a lot of what they have learned.
In her latest book, In Search of the Squid of the Abyss, Simon, Isabel, Lucas, and Juana must dive thousands of feet to the bottom of the ocean to face the colossal squid, a 40-foot-long creature with blue blood and the biggest eye of all the animals in the planet.
This book also wanted to capture just the wonders of the abyss through the whole adventure with the squid. So I show the kids the relatively newly discovered life.
In fact, the squid passed from being a mythological creature to a reality when found in New Zealand and displayed at the Te Papa Museum.
It was the first species of the colossal squid ever filmed and brought to the surface intact. So it's incredible when I saw it in the museum, so I fell in love with it.
Her novels are an eye-opener to new realities and the many mysteries like the ones the ocean keeps.
I wanted the kids to understand that we have not explored the ocean yet. We have only explored 5% of the ocean.
Her studio in Miami Beach is filled with books and memorabilia collected in her trips, like this bone of a T-Rex dinosaur she got when it was being restored. Throughout the years, Angela Posada Swafford has received many accolades. Recently, her article, The Power of Tiny on Nanotechnology, published by the prestigious Spanish science magazine Muy Interesante, was awarded in Spain. But also, close to her heart, are the awards she has received when visiting schools.
Sitting on the floor, and they have this little chair for me with a glass of water, and I get there and I become Aunt Abigail automatically. They want to know about the adventures. They don't really care about the writing. They want to know what happens and why and where am I going to go next.
For more information about Angela Posada Swafford, visit angelaposadaswafford.com.